Johns, how you doing? Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. How you guys doing? Okay, you guys ready? I think it's time to start the career mode. As ugly as Punta. I feel like this makes a lot more sense to be happening at night. I feel like during the day you would have too much traffic and a lot more cops on your ass. Yeah, from the preview material that I saw, this looks really damn good. Smells like a video. It feels a lot like Carbon. Gotta be, which makes sense, right? Carbon uses the same engine as Most Wanted, just a little bit more refined. It has now transformed into Carbon. I feel like if they ever wanna make a Most Wanted 2, all of the actors are gonna be too old. they're gonna have to go with some next generation of some kind. Okay, now it's time. My boy. He does it a little bit different though. I think he does like this instead of this. Yeah, I think it's the other direction. It must be popular with the ladies. I found my radio. I guess I found my MP3 player. This car doesn't have a radio. Who's old enough to remember the times where you had to carry a phone and an MP3 player at the same time? Like, I remember I bought an iPod because I didn't want to buy an iPhone. Then I realized I don't really like having two devices with me, and then I sold the iPod. Here I am. Damn, a lot of time has passed. It's already morning again. Not gonna lie, this looks really good. If you make the video or the stream, you could try some Most Wanted copyrighted music. Because not all of it actually gets claimed. There's only a handful of songs that get claimed.
No.
It's actually a lot harder to see where stuff is. And it did a really good job on this. So you wanna turn the visual treatment to low and turn off the overbright, and then it actually looks like this. Very nice. Wait, did the light actually go out as I hit the lamppost? Oh, it does. Wow. I didn't expect that. Oh no, the day is back.
Well, look what the underground let loose. Let's see how good you do in the daylight.
It's not the daylight. My eyes. I think during the day we might have a few overbright spots on the car. One of the first things that I forgot about this game is that it actually doesn't play any music in the prologue, with the exception of the cops. Only the cop chase music turns on. By the way, this cutscene has been brought to you by Mad Monk. Go check them out. Amazing supplements for you gamers. Link in the description below. Hey guys, Kuru here. Check out Instant Gaming for cheap game keys. Click the link in the description below. This looks really good, right? Okay, within 30 minutes, Stream Elements person will join us and apparently drop the gift subs. Let's see if that feature works. The color looks super different, but also the opening menu looks different. Like, the lighting has changed everywhere. But I feel like they used some RTX tools for regular shadows and lighting. It really feels like your headlights are hitting the objects in front of you. Alright, here's the speedrunning strategy. Take them out 7 seconds before your time target. So you want 2 minutes, you want to take them out at 53. Shit, that one cop never followed us. A bit of an issue. Hey, seriously? Are you telling me now he moves on to me? That's ridiculous.
Got
The golf is now actually orange. As it should have been from the start. You know, one thing I didn't really know for the longest time is that you're supposed to spread out your meals. Not that you can't eat enough protein, but it's actually optimal for burning fat and building muscle at the same time. Like, in my head, it never really mattered, you know, if I ate everything at once or if I had 4 to 5 meals. Which might be true for, you know, gaining muscle. But if your goal is also to burn fat, you actually want to spread out your meals. Like, metabolism actually stays higher if you eat more often. Usually 4 times is enough. 5 or more times doesn't really have a measurable difference anymore. But I didn't know that. Like, that's actually true, or rather a thing. Especially when I lost most of my weight, I only ate once a day. But obviously I was in a massive calorie deficit, so that was also the reason why. I don't really want to deal with the cops anymore, so you can retry the event and quit out. So we're gonna have a day and night cycle, so not everything is gonna be at night, although I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it if the entire game was at night, because the lighting at night is really good. And yeah, guys, if you haven't heard yet, there's the Steam racing sale going on right now. Pretty much every racing game you can think of is on sale. Crap. I actually wanted to get the blacklist car because I think the reflections would have looked great on those cars. We're gonna take any blacklist car that we can find. I have to take a guess when would be the next Need for Speed be announced. If we're really lucky, next year we get the announcement that the game comes out in 27. In my opinion, the earliest possible release for Need for Speed would be 27. But pretty slim chances. I feel like even 28 is more realistic. And then obviously it comes down to, is EA satisfied enough with Battlefield that they release the Need for Speed developers again? But yeah, we're gonna have to wait pretty damn fucking long. He broke surprisingly easy. I wonder if some of the mods are messing with the cops' behavior. They seem to sit around more often than normal. Now, the best piece of news that I saw around the new Battlefield is that they want to sell 150 million or something. Was that the number? That they want to sell 150 million of the new Battlefield? A completely ludicrous number. Oh, they want 100 million players. It's still ludicrous. Like, the best-selling Battlefield didn't even do half of that, right? The best-selling one did 40 million, I think? Like, they are straight up delusional. Yeah, it's gonna be easier for a lot of companies, a lot of publishers to raise their prices after GTA did it. But if like every player buys GTA 6 for 80, 90, 100 bucks, then everyone who comes after that has it easier. I mean, even GTA has it already easier because Nintendo raised their prices to 80 bucks. Doesn't surprise me too much though, considering all the inflation that happened since COVID. It was just a matter of time before game prices caught up. 80 was standard for new PlayStation 2 titles. Yeah, I was too broke at the time. I don't remember how much you had to pay for PlayStation 2 titles, if I'm perfectly honest. They want 100 million players, but it includes the free-to-play Battle Royale mode. Okay, then it's possible. Getting up to 100 million with a free-to-play mode? Absolutely. That I deem it plausible. Remember Mythbusters? I mean, if you make a good multiplayer, a free game can get an insane amount of a player base. But I remember playing Trackmania United forever, because it was free. The thing, you know what the thing is about battle royales? They are super good streaming and content material. So they will get a lot of free publicity just from big streamers playing Battle Royales. And they definitely have in mind how successful Fortnite was because of it. So they're definitely gonna try to cash in on that. Look at the skybox, man. Wow. Don't think I've ever seen that many stars in Austria. I did see it in Iceland though. That was a fun vacation. But Lisa was already pregnant. And we saw a bunch of northern lights. It was actually crazy. We had so many northern lights. One thing that I noticed though, everyone was more excited for the northern lights than I was. I mean, I liked it, yeah. I think it was kind of cool. Northern lights were kind of cool, but I wasn't this awed, right? I wasn't like, oh, northern lights, amazing, this is the best thing ever. I liked it. I didn't like it that much. Was on Call of Duty when it came out, you spent weeks on it with your friends. Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to tell your friends, hey, this is free, let's try it out. Honestly, if I were to make a racing game, I would make free multiplayer as well. Because you want to get the people, you know, you want to get their foot in the door, and then they can buy the rest of the game if they want to. The thing is, you have a lot of really good options that are free to play. You know, outside of mobile gaming, of course. So in my opinion, you know, that's actually not a dumb thing to do. Yeah, exactly, and then monetize with skins, easy. I mean, League of Legends is doing it, and so many other games. Like, it is a winning strategy. I gotta be honest, it's kind of entertaining how much people hate Unbound. But yeah, you're better off just buying Heat on the Steam sale, or Hot Pursuit Remastered, Burnout Remastered. Like, you can get all the good shit. Gunplay is fun and there's no clown skins. It's easy. Win many players. They try for free and maybe they buy the main game. I mean, even if they don't, you know, usually they will buy skins, right? Even if they don't care about single player. Remember that Fortnite had a paid single player? I'm not sure if they're still selling it. Or if they added it to the free content at this point. But Fortnite actually has a single player mode. Like, initially that game was... Wasn't it only free, only paid single player and then they added multiplayer or something? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I can't imagine it's worth your money. I wonder how long it would take to get an understanding on how to, you know, use a game engine. Obviously, I'm not gonna be writing my own game engine with zero knowledge. With zero knowledge, you're probably best to learn the Epic engine, especially since apparently every major studio is also starting to want to use Epic. So it's usually best to jump on the bandwagon, because then you're gonna get the engine that gets the most support.
Okay, suspect located. We got him here.
And you can be fairly certain that Epic is gonna continue making updates to their game engine, so you will be able to use it in the future with a familiar interface. Most of the things you'll be learning is the framework, rigid body systems, collisions, velocities, and a lot of stuff that other engines, not just Unreal, have. Which sucks. Yeah, Amazon, as far as I know, is subsidizing Twitch, but it's kinda alright, considering, you know, they're planning to build up the company for the long term. Because a lot of people, you know that Amazon Prime gives you Twitch Prime, so that is gonna get them more customers. People that buy Amazon Prime are more likely to buy stuff on Amazon. So even if Twitch loses money, they're making it back on their other business side of things. Now, I'm actually pretty happy they reverted subs for $3.99, because that means the streamer gets €1 less. It's actually really bad. It's actually really bad that it was reduced in the past. They should have kept it at $5 and never changed it. You know, you feel like €1 doesn't make a difference, which might be true for you, but think about a streamer having 1,000 subs and then everyone pays €1 less. Now all of a sudden, I get paid $1,000 less every month. I don't think anyone in here would be happy if their paycheck was cut by €1,000 every month. So I'm happy that eventually they returned it to the original value. But our game is definitely running slower than it should be. I think I'm gonna have to turn SimRate -1 off, or just set it exactly to 60, because whenever it doesn't hit 60, it slows down. Game looks scary at night. Yeah, the motion blur in this game, in my opinion, never looked good. I'm very happy that it is removed. One of the major advantages of the PC versions over any console edition. You know, I feel like at the time we didn't know any better, so most of the people were fine with it. But nowadays, motion blur, like they used in the black box games, does not look good. Hey, we got a pink slip car. Do we see Most Wanted Remaster? Probably not. Seriously doubt it, at least anytime soon. I wouldn't hold my breath. You're gonna die a few times over. Nope, not fast enough. Which car did I steal? Vic Supra, man, Vic Supra is such a downgrade. The Supra is really bad. But I said I would commit to the blacklist cars, so I will. I wonder which modification fucked up the cop logic. Like they're not playing like they usually do. The trashiest car Most Wanted, the CLK 500. That's an understeery piece of garbage boat. You can very much do without that one. Shit. Actually, this might count if I pass it in a parallel fashion like this. Yeah, okay. Good luck. Good luck. I wasn't sure the game's gonna let me. Are you fucking serious? A third roadblock? That is so unlikely. That's the kind of luck you would want in a speedrun, where you get 2 roadblocks back to back. Because in condition 2, there's only a 10% chance to actually spawn these roadblocks. I think World looked really good too. I'm not sure I would put it below it, to be honest, man. The only thing that rubs me a little bit the wrong way, during daylight, when you have someone driving behind you, it makes the back of your car really bright. You know, a little bit too much for my taste. But it's a nitpick, it's a really small thing. But hey, the people finally know that the Golf is not red with this mod. I think in the readme it should tell you to turn off overbright and the visual treatment to low. People really thought the Golf is red? It was at least a fun thing to do where people were arguing, is it red, is it not? Surprisingly power hungry, the mod. I remember using something, I don't think it was called TexMod, but something similar. Let me check. TexWizard. That's probably doing the heavy lifting. That looks so much like World. I think Jixie mentioned it earlier. But Need for Speed World, if you never played it, has the map of Carbon and Most Wanted combined by a few roads. So that was actually your first exposure to see Most Wanted at night. Maybe it feels a little bit like Underground, but if you played World, it feels like World. Or maybe even Carbon, just because you're used to the night setting. You don't like World's lighting. You know what I noticed? All of these blinkers, you see this? The green blinkers that indicate where the shortcuts are? All the lights are dynamic, there is no way to bake them on the map yet, and it's heavy on the GPU. That's what I thought. Because, you know what I noticed? You know when I noticed that it wasn't baked in lighting? I hit the lamppost and the light moved. Right, that was my aha moment. Right? See? You hit the lamppost, boom, lights off. Lights off. But yeah, that is heavy on the GPU. But it looks damn cool, and it adds to the immersion, right? I gotta say it's kind of worth it. But if the light was baked in, meaning it's pre-rendered, even if you break a light, it would still be lit. Well, this is an RTX 4080. And I guess it depends on your resolution. Like if you only render the game in 1080p or even lower, obviously it's gonna be easier. I've had a lot of nice looking mods recently. Last two were ray tracing. It's possible to mix baked and dynamic lights. Yeah, I guess that's for the next version, right? Where you use the dynamic lighting only for the breakables and baked in for the rest to save on performance. Like that would be the typical optimization that devs would do for their games. Most of the light comes from the cars and the lights anyways. Yeah, you're right. Most of the light is dynamic, so not too much you can optimize. Let's give it a basic tuning.
I'm initiating pursuit. Noted quadrant.
Problem is when you are already inside the hiding spot, you can't do this. You have to drive into the hiding spot once you have escaped, or it doesn't work. We are missing 100 bounty. That is funny. Did I try lab glitch fix? No. Chloe said something about it only works from the safe house or it only works from the minimap. One or the others. So that's a bit problematic. That makes the game play very differently to the original. At least with some basic tuning, the Supra isn't completely awful, but that Golf would absolutely rip him a new one. Man, this thing has no grip. Tuned aerodynamics, and you can barely feel it. They nuked view... What? They nuked viewbotted view numbers. But how many streamers did get a viewbot? I guess would be my question. Okay, so basically saying they're gonna turn off viewbots. 80% of your top 100 streamers are viewbotting. At least until they find a way around it. That is very true. But this has nothing to do with what happened last time. Like what happened last stream is that we suddenly went up to 3,500 viewers for about an hour or two. Obviously chat didn't pick up at all because it was all viewbots. The thing is, people have been viewbotting for 10 years straight, right? Keep their numbers up. And you know, it ranks you high on Twitch. Like I can imagine that on the highest level of Twitch, like if everybody is doped, you have to be doped too, right? But if everyone is cheating, you have to cheat too to compete. Oh god, another lab. Let's hope that the lab glitch thing works. Yeah, the lab glitch will only work from the safe house, but not from the world map. That's a problem. So I would always have to jump back to the safe house. I'm not sure I would recommend people to play the very first time Most Wanted with this mod. I feel like you should experience the original first. It is a gym, it is. The Need for Speed Marathon starts September 1st again this year. Daily streams, we're gonna play the entire Need for Speed franchise, including the odd games that not too many people know about. It was a fun event for me, experiencing like the entirety of Need for Speed. It's also the #1 reason why I feel like my opinion has some weight behind it. You know, coming from a point where I have seen all of Need for Speed multiple times, experienced it in different ways, so you know, I get a deeper understanding of everything. Especially what you guys say too, right? Like, it's not just my own opinion, it's also what you guys always saying when I play those games, when I hear your opinions. Get a pretty good idea where we align and where we differ. When was the first Need for Speed Marathon? 2018. 2018 was the first go. 2019 was the strongest one, right before the release of Heat. That was nice. Like we always, not always, but the Need for Speed Marathon makes even more sense if a new Need for Speed gets released. Exactly, like I don't think I'm clouded by nostalgia anymore. That was definitely a time where I was, but I've also seen in, you know, so many ways how you can improve Most Wanted and other games. The things you can do to this game, you know, to make it look better, play better, have more content. That's awesome. The new RC game, what's it called? There's a new Revolt on Steam? Really? That's out since 2022. I'm not sure what this is new for you. It's not even on sale. But yeah, it's Steam's racing sale, Racing Steam Fest. Many discounts for you guys. Go check it out if you haven't already. And also check out Instant Gaming for cheap game keys, because sometimes Instant Gaming is even cheaper. Wait a second, Recharge, I think they sent me a key. Oh yeah, they did send me a key. I played the demo of it. I think the game needs more development. Unless they have a massively new build, which I seriously doubt, because I played it like less than a week ago. Yeah, they're still in early access, so it's okay. I do think you might want to wait a little bit more until there's more content in the game. But it's up to you, you know, if you're like 100% sure you want to buy it, go ahead. Support the developers. Heat is super worth it. Heat is like the one new Need for Speed title that I can really recommend. You can definitely get your hands on the Burnout remaster as well as the Pursuit remaster, like they're all $5. Oh, I just realized. It's so obvious every time you miss the aerodynamics +5. The car is handled so badly. Sadly, you can never tell by the minimap if it's gonna be the one with the shortcut or the one without. Maybe we should do a mini marathon of like the best games that you can get on a Steam sale. Steam doesn't have any affiliates, do they? It's actually surprising to me. I feel like a lot of content creators would just have Steam affiliate links instead of, you know, Instant Gaming and other stuff, if Steam would offer it. Almost like modern games or as. Yeah, but the thing about the Steam Racing sale is that there's a bunch of old games, including indie developers, get extra opt and use the wanted level hack. Yeah, that does speed things up, especially later in the game. It's kind of nice. You wanna use new cars, but you don't necessarily wanna rebuild level 1, 2, 3. Like, I remember always really enjoying the cop chases, but at the same time being like, man, why am I not at Condition 5 yet? Every time I tried a different car. Like, rebuilding the heat level was always like, why can't I have action right now? You know, with maximum graphics you get these extra pursuit breakers here that you can't see on the minimap. Outside of a speedrun, that's usually the right thing to do. In a speedrun, you don't want to do it because you add so many objects to the map that it actually might slow you down more than it helps. I would say that in new racing games, you're not gonna get these old cars anymore. Only exception is probably Forza Horizon. Forza Horizon is probably still gonna cater to a lot of car guys by releasing older cars. But I could imagine that some of your dads might be playing Forza Horizon just to, you know, drive their old cars again. I'm not sure if there's a Ford Mondeo in Forza Horizon, but if there is, my dad would have driven it. This is the speedrun strategy. Circle around roadblocks, take out every car when you're waiting for backup, because you got nothing else to do. And this is good. This is a really good bounty, actually. Also, if you take out an entire roadblock, the game can spawn the next one. You can also spawn the next roadblock by driving far enough, but this is a guaranteed way to despawn a roadblock. No, don't have a car right now. Let's see if I'm gonna get one in the near future. You know, now that we have a toddler, we might be need to travel more often. It would be different on the land side. Like, if you would be living on the land side, a car would be a must. Because you're not getting anywhere. In the middle of the city, you know, you just take public transport and you're gonna be way faster if you don't have to look for parking space. Hey, I wanna get a Golf, man. Like, so many people associate me with a Golf. I think it would be a quite good fit for me. Another 10 cops, and then we can find the last roadblock somewhere. Pricey insurance-wise. Really? Didn't expect the Golf to be more expensive than other cars. But that shit is always based on statistics anyways. The more often a car is involved in a crash, the more pricey it is to insure. Or if it just has a lot of horsepower. That one was a bit late, but it's fine. At this point we can escape. I do think bounty that I get from the milestones is gonna be enough to put me above the target. Let's see. The 350Z, it was cheaper to insure than a 3-cylinder Skoda Fabia simply because of how few C's are being driven in comparison. That alone crashed. It's funny, isn't it? Sometimes your joy car is gonna be cheaper. we might have been beaten by Rubber Band early, guys. This is where his name comes from. If you have an overpowered Golf, you minimize the chances of getting wrecked by Earl, but this is definitely Rubber Band Earl in action. This is where it comes from. Like I always mentioned rubber banding when I was speedrunning Most Wanted, and people started making usernames. One of them was Rubber Band Earl. That actually became my first editor on YouTube. Just Rub Earl. You can rub Earl after I'm done with him, okay? It's so obvious how much easier the game is when you have the Golf. Miss cool Mitsubishis. Yeah, honestly, I have zero relations to modern Mitsubishi. Like, I have no idea what cars they have. Like, I don't even remember Mitsubishi being featured in Forza Horizon, like the new models. I feel like the newest model of Mitsubishi is the Evo X. I have no idea if they built anything afterwards. The Golf does get succeeded in the speedrun by the Lotus Elise, but that unlocks fairly late. But yeah, you do switch. Don't look up the newest Eclipse, let's do it. God damn it. It's the Eclipse Cross. Of course it's a crossover, fucking hell, dude. SUV everything. That's not even a shadow of itself, this is a new car. The thing is, you cannot blame car companies that much, because that is what people are buying. But car companies at least have not figured out yet how to sell more interesting cars. So they just go with the mainstream, right? The mainstream just buys a bunch of SUVs. I understand the appeal as a family person now that, okay, you want some space. You could have called it anything else. Yeah, but, you know, it's a brand name and they can't sell it. Are we gonna get wrecked by Earl a second time? So the idea is to speed brake so the car doesn't jump. And if the car doesn't jump, we can accelerate for longer. Oh, that works. Also, it gives you more grip. And so does the Nitro. So you combine speed brake and Nitro, you get really a strong grip. In my opinion, that's part of the genius of this game. Like, that on demand, you know, you can demand more grip. So I have to stick to this car one more round. Actually, I'm not sure what is better. The only good thing about sticking to this car, it has heat levels, so the cop chase is gonna be faster. Man, if this looks like a cheap Unity game, I want more of these. Please keep developing cheap Unity games. I approve. Hits a spot you can't see shit. You want that feeling. I remember when Need for Speed Shift was around, people were like, dude, I love the night races, I can barely see anything. It feels tense. Dude, if the World Convention ever changes the calendar emoji, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be very mad if they change this. Don't get it. Look at the calendar emoji. Look at the date. For me, it shows a 31. Interesting. As far as I know, Android and iOS both show July 17. Twitch does too for me. I wonder which platforms don't show July 17. Maybe BlackBerry, you weirdos. Are you a businessman from 30 years ago? I'm your typical dude. I grew up with a Nokia. It still works. Battery is still half full. You know the drill. You know what I was sad about? It seems like my giant ass calculator from high school is not working anymore. I assume that the battery on the circuit is empty and that is why it doesn't work anymore. But I'm not sure about that. Maybe it's just broken. How weird is that, charging your phone once a week? Like if I don't juice up my phone on a daily basis, there's a fair chance it's gonna be empty the next day. At least I have a phone now that can get me through a day of usage. But I still feel like batteries should be... You know what the problem is? Once batteries get better, they're gonna put fatter chips into the phone. Right, the moment we have more efficient batteries, they will put more powerful chips into the phone that will eat that energy up again. Same with Windows. Now that we have better thermal insulation, let's make bigger windows. It is nice. It's nice to have big windows though, let's be honest. Like our first floor has windows bottom to the ceiling. That is neat. That allows you to have so much light. I mean, it's not much different here. Like the windows are bottom to about 10 centimeters to the ceiling. The thing is, it also comes down to what are people buying, and having more light in your home is definitely a reason of purchase, right? It just looks so much nicer. If you compare something that is built modern and something that is old, it's usually the window size. The thing is, I have at least one viewport running, because my stream gets embedded on instant gaming, right? So if certain people or some people look at games on instant gaming, they actually contribute a viewer to my stream. That I know of. I wonder if that's like what Twitch is talking about when it comes to the viewer count. But I know for a fact that my stream gets embedded on instant gaming. But I think it's going to be interesting in general, because there's definitely a lot of the big streamers that are using it. I mean, recently there was this stream that had 6 million live viewers. I can't imagine they were all legit. You like it more than that day-night cycle for Carbon? Yeah? You can see it. The dynamic lighting of the mod is really nice. Am I car guy IRL? I would say a little bit. Like I do watch car YouTubers for like rebuilds and stuff. I'm not a mechanic. I can tell you that much. Like I struggle quite a bit when I play something like a car mechanic simulator, but I'm getting a lot better. But I still couldn't name all of the parts of an engine. Right, like I will, you know, mix up the shafts and that kind of stuff. Bro, do you remember who we just beat? You get the car from the person that you beat, not the one that you skipped. Yikes. That is the major issue of this car. It's just so damn slow. Right, it doesn't have good handling, but it's really slow additionally. I see these nuts. So, what are you gonna plan to do against it? Or do you just accept the fact? Because I've definitely been in your spot and then I just started working out. The question is, do you have enough motivation to start working out? The funny thing is, you know, I'm not skinny fit anymore, but I'm definitely slightly overweight from my personal opinion. Like I feel like I could be leaner. But I gotta say I prefer this state over skinny fat. Having some strength is nice. This is also really cool lighting, right? Those in-betweeners, the morning lighting. This looks a lot like Hot Pursuit 2010. Has a lot of tracks with that particular lighting. Honestly, this lighting mod, like lighting makes such a big difference. That feels like a remaster to me. There's a multiplayer for Hot Pursuit 2010 remastered. I think they turned off the multiplayer for the old game to incentivize people to get the new version. But you know, EA didn't always collect L's. I remember they gave out Burnout Paradise Remastered for $5 if you already had Burnout Paradise. And that was on launch, right? This was not like a year or two later, it was at launch. Which for most people meant they got the entire DLC, right? Because Burnout Paradise Remastered had the DLC included. I wouldn't say it's mid, but I'm definitely missing a few things in Burnout Paradise. Like, there's a lot of mid games on the market. Burnout Paradise isn't one of them. You might not like it as much as Burnout 3 or Revenge, which I agree with, but I wouldn't put it in mid. You know, the mid rating for me is like a 6 or 7 out of 10. And I'd say Paradise is at least an 8. I'm really missing a proper crash mode in Burnout Paradise. They had a lot of really cool locations where they could have had your typical crash mode like you had in Burnout 2, 3, Revenge. What do you mean? What do you mean this car looks awful? Yeah, I guess that's where we have different opinions. You know, for me, mid games are not good. Like, the word mid doesn't mean good. I can't think of a single game that I would call mid, and I'm like, it's actually pretty good. Like, mid is for me below good. Mid Nightclub 3, damn it, son. You got me. Exactly, mid is meh. Like 50%, maybe 6. I don't know about your country, but it's law in Austria that you have the lights on at all times, even in the middle of the day. Mandatory lights is gone again. Really? Well, I guess I haven't driven a car in a while. When did they change that? Okay, this time I'm probably far enough ahead so they don't hit the last checkpoint. Which means they have one speed trap less. And it's usually always a guaranteed win. I'm surprised people are still talking about Vivo. Hey, we got a new car, thank God. Oh, thank God we get a decent upgrade. Oh, that one's actually good. I think it actually has all Junkman parts. Let's see. Ultimate. 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 Oh, it didn't have the ultimate nitrous. Ultimate tires. And the ultimate supercharger. So I have Junkman tires twice, so let's use one. Okay, this should be a beefy upgrade, man. Okay, this is the fire test for this car. Blind drag race. Unsurprisingly, this is quite a bit easier when you have eyes. BeamNG crash physics would be pretty fun for like finishing shots. You get that crash right on the finish line. That would be fun. Not gonna lie, I do like the revamp of the daylight as well. You can tell that the colors got fixed even during the daylight. You know, the reason why I never turned off the yellow filter is because the base game looks pretty bad, but this is adjusted. A stronger color is not as washed out as the original would be. Dehydrated piss filter. It's more orange. Actually, during the day, it could be interesting to check it out. Let's do it. Let's see what the treatment looks during the day. Ready? Also an interesting look. Obviously a lot closer to the original. During the night it ends up being too dark. We've seen that earlier. During the day it's alright. You can kinda see how dark it gets if you are in a tunnel. It was so long ago I have to explain it in the sepia tone. I do like the alternative look at daylight as well. I still think that this mod looks better without the yellow filter. Not for the original game, but I would say for the mod. You know, one thing I noticed today, you guys are a little bit biased. In my opinion, the RTX mod is very similarly dark in a lot of situations, but on the RTX mod everyone is saying it's too dark, and here it's perfect. It usually requires nitro at the end so you can push the last cop. Fucking traffic! It's actually easier to turn around when you're using your reverse gear. That outplays the AI. Why did it flip on the second part? Prison always gets me, man. Yeah, Dragna and I, Derek, spent, I don't know, 8+ hours yesterday setting up the PlayStation 5. It was a pain. I think I ran into pretty much every single possible issue, including breaking the database on my console, meaning I had to reset the entire thing. I mean, I could have rebuilt the database, but I didn't trust it. The entire fucking day, yeah. Too many issues arise, but it is running now. So we have now Drive Club running in 60 FPS and have all the DLC unlocked. I did break my PS5, yeah. Good thing it was my secondary. Hey, the number one thing that I don't like about the world right now is like how racing games seems like they're kind of getting abandoned by the AAA publishers. Like, what the fuck are they doing? They have so many opportunities to make money, and they all squander them. You know, this is in my opinion how Most Wanted should have looked without the yellow filter. But the game just looks really bad without the yellow filter on the release version. Without any touch-ups on the colors. This looks so good. You know what's funny? Every single lamppost is a dynamic light. So you break the lamppost, the light goes off. Right? Off, 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 off. How cool is that, huh? That's called dynamic lighting, not ray tracing. The thing is, I am so burned by shitty gameplay that I don't even care anymore. Does that make sense? Like, at this point, all I want is a good game. I don't even care about the story or the narrative anymore. Right, if you just give me a racing game that has fun gameplay and multiplayer, I don't even care if it doesn't have a story anymore, or anything really. That's how badly I have been burned. I think all of the top cars in this game are rear-wheel drive. Right, the Lotus Elise, the Carrera GT, the M3 GTR. I think the Golf is actually top 5 and that's front-wheel drive. How does the Carrera compare to the Elise? I think it's faster in like a handful of events. But most of the time, the insane handling that you get from the Lotus Elise is just outpacing the Carrera GT by quite a bit. I am definitely on that side right now, where I don't really care what the theme of the game is. Just make a good game, because you're losing every single player because either the handling sucks or the game is boring. In my opinion, those are the two choices that you have for the most part nowadays. A few exceptions are coming out from indie developers, but they obviously have a much harder time reaching the mainstream because they don't really have much of a budget for advertising. But yeah, like if you would deliver Need for Speed that was multiplayer only, but it is as addicting as Blur was in multiplayer, then hell yeah, I would be totally for it. I would sacrifice many things just to have like a popular racing game I could actually stick to for more than, you know, a few days, sometimes weeks. But it's no secret that I like what Black Box did in regards of, you know, making a story or having, you know, cops versus racer type of gameplay, either in Hot Pursuit or Most Wanted. Like, all of that works and is fun. I would definitely like to play something like Most Wanted again, just, you know, the modern version of it. Even more crazy things happening when you do the cops versus racer gameplay. The thing is, Horizon is so tremendously successful that making a copy pasta of it is actually, you know, is working too, right? Like, Motorfest is not awful, right? True, Motorfest is not a bad game. It might not be innovative or as good as Forza Horizon, but it's not bad. And honestly, not releasing something that is not bad can be good enough. But I would totally like a Forza Horizon handling in a Need for Speed, because in my opinion, it's really accessible and it's really good at the same time. It really feels like an advanced version of what Most Wanted is. But you could also have a break to drift that is just good, you know? And I'm thinking Burnout 3, Burnout Revenge, Burnout Paradise, you know? If you really need to make break to drift, you need to make the cars really, really grippy, so it's actually fun and fast around corners. He did a really good job in that regard. So yeah, Forza Horizon, Most Wanted, or Heat/Burnout would totally work for a break to drift model. Although, as I said, you know, I would like to go away from break to drift at least for one game just to see how people react to it. If you have a single player, I'd love to see a combination of Most Wanted where it's, you know, player versus the cops, but also have gameplay elements where you are the cop and then it plays more like Hot Pursuit. Yeah, like Hot Pursuit 2010. It's really just about, you know, having weaponry to take subjects down. But yeah, you don't really need to force all of that into one game. I'm just saying it would be cool to have it. One thing I definitely want again is more than just an open world. Open world is cool and all, but I also want maps that are outside of the open world. You know, classic Need for Speed titles where you have sprints and circuits that are just not here but somewhere else. Like the Canyon and Carbon, like that was a great addition. I like a lot of the game modes that we had in other Need for Speed titles. For example, in Pro Street, the Speed Challenge, you know, those insanely breakneck speed sprint races, where you had to worry about a bump in the road flipping over your car. Like, that's cool. That adds tension. That was a lot of fun. That's something I could imagine. It's sad because the physics are quite bad. It's not even the physics. It's the tunes on the cars. Like, once the cars are properly tuned, it's actually not that dangerous anymore. Right? There's the difference between, you know, are the physics bad or are the cars just really badly tuned? Because if you have a car with a really hard suspension that can basically not travel, and then you hit a bump, then yeah, your car is gonna be basically like a springboard. Yeah, there's an event type in Carbon called Race Wars. I'm surprised that was never picked up by the media outlets as like being controversial. At least I never heard about it. I don't remember any news articles talking about Race Wars and Need for Speed Carbon. They probably had an innocent mind. I doubt they did that on purpose or trying to trigger someone. We're copy and pasting it from Fast and the Furious. I mean, it makes sense to take inspiration from Fast and the Furious. Right, certain things are successful for a reason. That has always been my philosophy, you know, with my theoretical game building. Like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you take the most successful ideas on the planet and use them for yourself? But trying to be unique just to be unique is not a good idea for any video game. Just because you're something that no one else has done before doesn't mean people are gonna like it. It's so much easier if you don't have to do it blindfolded. So we're now 1.5 kilometers ahead of him. And you can drive through the barriers from the other side. Obviously, it doesn't work the other way around. But they definitely thought about this. They have a safety mechanism. You somehow get out of bounds, you can't get back in. What I really like about this mod, the day and the night looks good. Dude, some people sent me some prompts that they asked ChatGPT about me, and there's a lot of wrong information in there. Not sure if Croc is any better at answering your questions about me. But ChatGPT has said something like I've played Most Wanted on the Guitar Hero controller and with a wheel upside down. And I'm not really sure what that means. Did I play on a wheel and the game was upside down? Or was the wheel upside down? Was I upside down and the wheel was normal? I mean, none of that is true, but it did say it. Whoa, Rubber Band Eraser. That's new. I wonder which AI bots can already be included in Twitch chats, you know what I mean? I wonder if any one of them is set up to be, you know, active in a Twitch channel. I'm in all the wrong places. But that worked though. Nice. You know, there was a really good world record attempt that failed exactly this part.
We got spikes on the left.
Like he went with the safe strategy and that failed too, right? He didn't even go for the risky one that is fast. Hey, I love how we have the time of day change during this game.
Lost visual, stand by.
How much safer is this compared to the old method? It's not safer, it's faster. I would say it's similar levels of safety. Maybe this one is slightly less safe, but it's definitely faster. Hey! I did it. Oh damn. I split on the wrong spot. That's alright. GG! Thanks so much everyone. Stay kind. Do come back tomorrow for more and good night, hotshots. Bye bye.